What the heck happened to video games based on movies and TV shows? Growing up in the 2000s, my first video game system ever was a PlayStation 2.
It's a PS2!
Big shouts out to Uncle Dave for getting it for me for Christmas. Best Christmas ever. But as a kid, I wasn't allowed to play T or M-rated games because they would make my mind impure, and I mean, they might have. But still, I was salty because my friends were playing them, and so I couldn't do Battlefront 2 Star Wars. I had to play Trick Super Slam. No GTA, I had Teen Titans. No God of War, I had Lego Star Wars. Because I couldn't play what was popular because it was good, I had to play what was popular because of the IP that it was attached to. My favorite one of these was Scooby Doo Night of 100 Frights. In this game, you play as Scooby in a Metroidvania collectathon type game. Although the gameplay is serviceable, it isn't necessarily innovative or new. But what really hooked me about this game was how true it was to the Scooby Doo show, Scooby Doo, Where Are You? The characters run like they do in the show. There's tons of goofy sound effects that play all the time, a lot of the classic monsters, and even a laugh track. It really felt like playing an episode of the show. My other favorite game as a kid was Toy Story 2, Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue. That was based off a movie. The gameplay was really fun, and seeing the locations from the movie and being able to beat Zurg myself felt really cool as a kid. Licensed games used to be really cool to relive some of your favorite moments from TV and film. But nowadays, they kind of fall into two different categories, and neither of them really capture that old magic. The first category is what I like to call disgraceful. Some of the big names in this category recently were Avatar: The Last Airbender, Kong Skull Island, Lord of the Rings Gollum, Nickelodeon All-Stars, and Multiverses. All of these have different problems. A lot of them are just bad rush jobs. In Multiverses, even though it respected the source material, it quickly became obvious it was just a cash grab. They even took the servers down, and you can no longer play it. They're planning on re-releasing it, but games like this are made to just turn your nostalgia into money. The other category of games are those that deserve to be made. There's a lot fewer of this category out there, but recently we've had TMNT Shredder's Revenge. We've had, you know, the new Lego Star Wars. Of course, I mean, we're still playing Lego Star Wars, my goodness. Demon Slayer, and the big standout of licensed game is Spider-Man. These were actually met with a good reception and actually have good gameplay. However, I noticed something, and this is why I wanted to make this video. Besides to gush about Night of 100 Frights, all of these games are from really old franchises. Not a single one of these games actually came out alongside something that was also trying to promote. I guess maybe you could argue that Spider-Man and Ninja Turtles, they recently had movies come out, but they aren't using the story from the movies that came out near it beat for beat, like these older ones were. Now, why is that? Well, I think there's a few reasons, but the first one is because video games take longer to make now. Incredibles, the movie, took 4 years to make, and back then, games were being turned around really fast. You can make a game in less than a year and it'd be pretty serviceable. This made it super reasonable to work on both the movie and the game at the same time, and then have them both released simultaneously, and then they help market each other. But now, we're in a weird spot where movies are actually easier to make, and good games are now harder to make. And so we don't get movie games anymore. We either get the disappointments who are using the IP to make a quick buck, despite how old the property is, or people take the license to make a great game, but it could take so much time in the oven that they can't really tie it to any other medium. A funny side effect of games taking longer than movies to make now is that since video games can't be made from movies, the opposite is happening, and movies are now being made from games a lot more. Uncharted, The Last of Us, the Mario movie, Sonic 1 and 2, they're all proof that the mediums will always be kind of tied together, but now film is actually taking more from video games and not the other way around. I'm sad to report that I think that the day and age of games coming out with your movies that are actually good is dead and gone. But I do wish that studios treated our beloved franchises with a bit more care. Like, I would love a great Avatar: The Last Airbender game, or another amazing Scooby Doo game. Like, Night of 100 Frights slaps ridiculously hard. I just hope that it doesn't take too many more Skull Islands or Golems for the studios to take a hint that Putting the games in the oven and treating your IPs with respect is the right way to go.